This is a video demo for VERITAS version 1.0. I'm starting with VS Code on the left and Obsidian Vault on the right. And in the demo, we're going to show how I use this setup for organizing my F31 grant proposal. I use this to explore knowledge and organize knowledge because during this process of writing the grant, I was struggling the most with organization. Like, I was exploring a lot and learning a lot, but when it came down to using that and applying that, integrating it into my writing for this grant proposal, I just felt like really overwhelmed. I felt disorganized. I couldn't really, I wasn't being efficient. So that's pretty much what prompted all of this to come about. Um, so let's see. By now, at this stage in the demo, you would have already installed Veritas. You've already configured everything. You've got your vault set up. You're just ready to start diving into your work. Let's see, a couple of key things I want to just briefly cover. You need to have a project folder open in VS Code. And once you've gone through all the steps with Veritas, you'll notice your Claude folder. You should see a few key things like this agents. This would be your domain expert. So specific to your research field, it's highly detailed. It's basically your research buddy's personality. And you'll have a lot of these. This looks different for me because I've been working in this project for a bit, but when you first start up, you might not have everything that's in here. You will have everything that's necessary though. The basic scripts, the hooks. These hooks and scripts are essential. It's part of what makes Veritas work, so they're very important. They have to be there. None of this would work without it. So that's your Claude folder. The other important thing is this claude.md file. It also makes Veritas what it is. I don't suggest you modify this file. It comes as is whenever you install everything, but I'll kind of bring it in here to show you what it looks like. I made it like a constitution. I know it's cheesy, but I needed the AI model to understand how important these rules are. You cannot violate any of this. So it's organized that way. It's got some rules that it has to follow. It can't break these rules. So with complex tasks, I have it starting with sequential thinking. This is one of the tools, one of the MCPs that are installed. You have to verify the claims with PubMed. You should check memory, so it stores things. I want you to check memory, see if we've already covered this or if we've talked about something that's related and we can build on that with my new prompt. And I want it to document everything. So I'll show you all of this in the demo, but this is really just an overview of how structured this thing is. It tells the AI model exactly how to handle your prompts in a way that makes sure that the information it gives you is reliable, reputable. There's transparency. There's traceability. Yeah, everything that research work really needs. So that's your Claude constitution. All right, so let's start this demo off by asking it a research question. I'm going to activate Claude Code, which for me, I have a key binding that I use that opens it like this. And one of the things that you should do before you start is type \MCP and just verify that all of the MCPs that Veritas installs they're present and that they are connected. So these are all the tools that your agent's going to be using to complete the tasks that you ask it to do. So yeah, let's start with a research question. I'm going to ask it, what percentage of US HLA labs use complement fixing antibody, tests based on the most recent information available. Okay, and enter. So you just talk to it normal, ask a basic question. Well, it's not that basic, but it's a complex question, right? So you can see that it is following the rules. It started off with sequential thinking, just like the Claude MD file said. Breaking down, sequential thinking is breaking down this complex question into digestible bits so that it's very thorough. I don't want a half-assed answer. I want this to be very thorough. I'm going to be talking about this in my F31 grant, so let's just cover all of the bases, right? Now you can see it, so it did some sequential thinking tool use, it did some memory tool use where it checked my past conversations to see if there's anything that we talked about related to this that we can build in or build on. Now it's searching PubMed, so it's getting literature sources to back up all of the scientific claims that it's going to make related to this question. Things that I can use to cite the information with. And, working with this agent, with this setup, don't expect it to be very fast answers like what you get without this setup. I mean, by now I could have just typed this into ChatGPT and it would have given me an answer. But honestly, I've been burned enough to know that it would probably make up some of this information, or it would give me fake citations, or, I would end up spending a lot of time investigating the validity of the response that I get. So, that's the trade-off. It takes a little bit more time to get through each one of your prompts because it goes through all of these steps, but the quality of the response you get and the information that you gain from this is totally worth it, in my opinion. I mean, the amount of time that I've spent realizing that I was working off of fabricated, false information, going back and undoing all of that. And yeah, so it does save time ultimately, I think. I like looking at its thought process. The PubMed searches aren't yielding specific percentages. All right, so it's wrapping up now. Let's see. Yeah, this is very useful information for me whenever I start writing about this part in my grant. Yeah, extremely usable information here. So you can see that this is pretty brief. This is just a little bit of information, but it does include the citations that I asked it to include. Now, whenever I ask a research question, I like to log it in my Obsidian vault. This is one that I asked recently, and I've given it templates. I've given my my domain expert here. It has templates for these journal entries. So every one of them follow the same exact layout, as you can see. And it's far more detailed than what we're looking at right here. So let me show you how we go from this to this. Let's see, create an entry. Oh, well, say create a, I like to word this carefully. I think you can be clumsy with your wording and it would still pick it up, but I don't like to risk it. So let me just think about how I want to prompt it to make this entry. So I'll say, use this research question to generate an entry in my HLA antibodies Obsidian vault, along with its corresponding concept pages. That's another thing that I have set up in the template with the rules. So every time that I ask or every time that we log a research question, it generates these concept pages based off of the content in the research question. So these are just concept pages and they all follow this template too. So they're all organized the same way. It generates tags automatically. Very, very useful for me. So that's why I'm asking it to generate the concept pages along with it. So yeah, that's my prompt. I will send it and it should generate the research question here and the related concept pages. This process can take some time though. I've noticed because it has to, create something here following the template. It's got to, be pretty thorough. So it has to generate all of this, which it's going to do. You can see that it's recognized my prompt and it's starting to execute the task in order of the tool use that I specified in Claude MD, starting with sequential thinking. Yeah, like I said, this could take a while. I'll probably just fast forward through this part um, until some real magic happens so that we don't end up with an hour-long video. Okay, actually, I see it just popped up over here. It has made my research question. Yeah, very, very useful. This is my prompts, my templates are tailored to my grant writing. So it's given me information that I can use in all of the sections, however, which way I need to. This is very useful. The DOI copy paste list, I can just copy paste this into my Zotero. I will eventually get around to trying to bake Zotero into VERITAS. That way it automatically does this. I know that that's doable. I just need to do it. For now, though, I just copy and paste and do it manually. I have a lot of cool ideas for VERITAS development. So we're just getting started. So it has made the question. It's currently now working on building concept pages based off of this question. And one thing that I notice while it's doing that is sometimes you'll see like the chat window like jumping and jiggling all around. I don't know why it does that, but it does eventually stop once it's done generating the concept pages. And it's just these really long entries, I think. It just causes it to do that. So don't freak out if you see it. It will settle out once it's done generating or going through the entire task. So it's now generating a CDC concept page. CDC is a complement dependent cytotoxicity test. So I don't currently have a concept page for that test, and that's why it's making one. If it would already have a concept page, it would just build on that, or create something, create whatever concept pages I don't already have. All right, so here it has made a concept page for complement-dependent cytotoxicity, and it has all the little bits of information organized in a way that's most helpful for me whenever I'm writing about it. So it's probably going to make several concept pages, and that's why this could take a minute. It's a long process. I don't mind it though. I'm happy to have it. Give you something to read while we wait. This right here is particularly important for me. I will be writing about these low-level antibodies. So that is why this was important for me to look into. It's part of one of my specific aims. This is pretty cool. The knowledge gaps. It does automatically populate with related concepts for me to explore. And that's kind of one of the cool things about Obsidian is it has this knowledge graph. And I've got my settings to where the knowledge graph is only populated with stuff from concept pages. I didn't want to clutter it with all of this. Um, Although it does link to the question that generated the concept page. So I do have like, the question and the related concepts easy to see. If you're a visual person like me, this is pretty awesome. It's made another concept page for me, solid phase immunoassays. This is pretty useful for me, the validation requirements. It's something that I'm still learning about, like how to detect artifact, I guess, in this assay when I'm looking at results. What things can affect the results. Oh, cool. It's made a table. That's very useful for me. The solid phase assay versus the CDC testing. This here is part of my specific aim 1. So this is very important information for me. So even though it's answered the question here, a lot of extra useful information is in my concept pages. All right, so it's finished generating the concept pages it wanted to generate. Now it is creating memory entities. So it wants to remember this conversation. It wants to remember everything we covered. So you can see that it's making memories. And that's one of the things that I found out with using AI chats is it has capacities for its memory. So sometimes it's not going to be able to pull up information from, depending on how heavy you're using it, hours ago even. So it's finished with the task. It's giving me a summary here of everything that it did. Here's the question. Here are the concept pages that it created. Oh yeah, it did. It gave us another one here. So these are the key findings. Yeah. So that's basically the workflow. The other cool thing that it does is, so this is one of my Obsidian vaults, but I have another Obsidian vault here. That's my daily journal. It again has a set template that it follows so that all entries are laid out the same. You would not believe how valuable it is to be able to go through and just remember kind of what research actions and things like how was your research day for any given day? What day did you do that? It's just really useful to have a daily log of my research activities. So just like we asked it to make an entry for the research question, we can ask it to make a journal entry and it knows what to do. So generate a daily research journal entry. And today is August 28th. You can see that I'm a little bit behind. The last entry that I made was on the 26th. So I'm going to test the memory of this thing, right? Like I just said, it doesn't store memory naturally unless you have this memory MCP and also the conversation logger. So I created that MCP, the conversation logger, because memory MCP stores memories in the form of entities. It's not like verbose, and there could be some details that were missed. So I created the conversation logger MCP server. That way, it logs the total conversation per session per day. And for me, I chose to keep it just 5 days. I just want the last 5 days, and you can delete everything for day 6 and older. So here we're going to test it. I'm going to ask it to make journal entries for the days that I missed. Generate a daily research journal entry for the following dates. And since I have it organized in this date format, I'm going to make it easy for it to not mess up by just keeping it, how it expects it. So the 8th, we need the 27th. Oh, that's not too bad. I don't want to make a journal entry for today yet because I still have a lot of work to do today. Um, and I like to do the journal entries at the end of the day. So that's just kind of my routine. So yeah, let me just rethink this. I looked at it and saw that today was the 28th and thought we were 2 days behind, which technically we are, but since I do it at the end of the day, I'm only missing one day. So let's just, sorry, I'm rambling. Let me rephrase this. Generate a research journal daily entry for yesterday, 202508 27. Maybe I'll just keep it like that. Let's just see what it does. It should know what to do. Cool. Looks like it should pull it off, which I'm happy because I'd hate for it to go wrong for this demo video. Okay, so it did the sequential thinking. It's checking my conversation logger. So it's following all the conversation that I had yesterday with it. It is searching memory MCP here, those memory entities. So it's using both tools that collect quote unquote memories for journal entries. And it's so right about this right here. I was working out all the kinks for this Veritas system. That way I could get it like production ready, like so people can download it. And yeah, I think it's working well. Obviously, it is working the way that it's intended. So the real challenge is, did I set it up on GitHub the right way to where when people download it and install it and configure it, it works this way for them? God, I hope so. And if not, please don't hesitate, message me. I want to know what I have to do to make it work like this for you, because I don't know if you're excited about this as I am, but this is a godsend for organizing my knowledge and being able to use my knowledge database that I've made with the Obsidian journals to write my grant proposal. So here it has created the 27th um, log. This time is not correct. I promise I was not up at 4:30 in the morning. Um, or maybe it's saying 4 hours. So this is duration, primary work session. I'll have to look into that. Um, yeah, let's see what else. I tested it for, it's true. I did. I tested the crap out of this thing yesterday. It was like really hard because I wanted to see what it looks like when users are installing it, but I didn't want to like install it on my machine because I mean, it's already set up on my machine and I didn't want it to override all of the customization that I already did, you know? Because whenever you download it, it's pretty virgin. Like you have to customize it, to your research domain and everything. So yeah, I had to create these like test environments. It was a long day yesterday, but I think I hope that I was successful. Yes, there was I had these this is very accurate. What I'm saying is this journal entry from yesterday, I agree with. These are the things that I worked on. So it's a good one. And that's it. It completed the task. So there we have it. I've demoed everything that Veritas does. And yeah, I guess that's a wrap. Thanks for sticking through this whole video. Sorry it took a long time, but like I said, Veritas takes a while to run through your tasks. And I hope that you find this to be just as useful for you as it is for me. Peace.